Alright, hey there guys. So this time I'm going to be explaining how to use a debounce, what a debounce is, and showing you guys an example of the debounce within a block that damages you on touch. Kind of the same block when I made my dot touched damage block. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So as usual, here I am on the wiki. I'm going to be going over what it has set on the wiki and explaining it in a little more depth, hopefully helping you guys understand. So, a debounce system is a set of code that keeps a function from running too many times. That's pretty straightforward. It comes from the idea of a mechanical switch bounce, where a switch bounces when pushed, creating multiple signals. In the context of Roblox, this problem occurs mainly in the dot touched event, like I'm going to be showing you guys, when a part touches another part multiple times in a short space of time, but useful in many other cases. So, what it means by switch bounce is we're going to be showing you basically it's just checking a true or false value. If it's true, then it runs. If it's false, then it doesn't run, or vice versa, however you decide to set it up. But yes, this is a huge issue with the dot touched event, because if you guys noticed when you made that block, even if you were just standing on it, you kept taking damage when you weren't actually moving. So this can help. So here's what we got. So we have our button on the floor, and when we jump on the button, it'll print the message that'll say button pressed, wait 1 high. So what we want to do is, if you're programming like this and you didn't know how to debounce, it's generally assumed that you're wanting it to press the button once. It'll say print button pressed, wait 1, then print high. But due to the way that the Roblox engine handles the collision, you'll probably get something like this. It's not just going to show once, it's going to show multiple events fired at once. So you're going to get a button press, etc., etc. Then it's going to wait a second after each of those separate fires and print high correspondingly. That's why you have this. So rather than executing sequentially, meaning in order, all the events are handled at the same time. So here's a scenario you encounter. Using a button to regenerate a model. Then it will make 5 of whatever you were generating. So it's an issue because all 5 of the things you're regenerating are in the same spot, causing problems like they're going inside of each other, they could glitch, they could fling. If you guys seen like some card games, they have a bunch of people regenerating a button, you can see that issue. It can be easily avoided by using a debounce system, which we're going to be going over in this video. So basically, the debounce system works like a little something like this. When an action happens, such as someone pressing the button, the script locks any new function calls until time passes or the action is complete. So basically, you can't run it again until it's done or the function's finished, or however you decide to specify it. Alright, so I just went ahead and opened my studio mode. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So what we're going to do straightforward is we're going to make a new part that damages when you touch. So basically this is just going to be a touch up on what I did previously with the dot touched event, and hopefully you guys still remember how to do this. If you don't, you guys can check out my previous video, and let's just get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to go over this relatively quickly so we can get this done. So we'll go script our parents. So if you guys don't remember what this does, we have our function called touch with the parameter of our body part. We're calling the function here block.touch, so it fires whenever the block is touched. So let's go ahead and just print block was touched. Block was touched. Alright, so what this should do is now whenever we touch it, we should get block was touched in the output. Which happens. Alright, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and make it so that it damages. So we'll go body part parent. Alright. Alright, let's probably make it lower. Alright, so now whenever we touch it, we'll take 10 HP damage, which, as you guys can see, it fires multiple times, so I take a lot more than I should, unless I'm like really quick. You guys see that? So now what we want to do is we want to basically add a weight to it. This is also called a debounce, as I previously explained. So we're going to go ahead and call it debounce. Now, what we're going to do is, this is where we start getting into if statements. So an if statement is basically, if X is true, then run something. Else, if X is false, then don't. So, that kind of concept. So let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so if debounce is equal to false, then. So this here means whatever we put in here will only run when debounce is equal to false. So now if debounce is equal to false, it'll print the damage. We can also do, now we can do this, and we can do a separate one for if debounce is equal to true then. However, you can make it simpler by simply saying else if debounce is equal to true then. The thing you want to memorize with this is when you're doing this, they all share one final end. Adding else if, it saves it, the current end is still the same, so you don't have to add an extra end for adding else if. So anything between here runs if this is met, and anything here runs if this is met. So here we go. We have it set so that we have all this set up. Now, if we were to run this, how do you think it'll work? Let's go ahead and try it. Now, it's still doing the same thing before, correct? But it still prints run the damage, so you know it's working. However, we never specify that we're changing the value of debounce, so it never goes to true. So what we want to do is we're going to set debounce equal to true, and then we're going to set debounce equal to false. After it runs, of course. Now, of course, you're going to want to wait here. This is where you can decide how long you want to wait before you can run again. So here we go. Now that when we walk over it, we have to wait 5 seconds. We get the output here. Debounce is equal to true, don't run. Now we have to wait 5 seconds, then it can run again. Which works. Now, we can also use that in retrospect with some properties to make sure we can tell when it's true or false. So we can do something like block.transparency equals 0.5, and then after it's done we can set it back to 0 as a way to kind of tell when we can touch it or not, and it'll work. So say we go ahead and do this. Now when we touch it, it'll run the debounce, make the block transparent so we can see through it, so we know for sure that it's not, the debounce is equal to true, and once it's done we can tap it again, and voila. So this is just kind of a basic introduction to it. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this, and there's more to it later on, but for now it's pretty simple. One thing, it doesn't have to be just one rule here, it can be multiple rules, like say and block.transparency is equal to 0. So this will only run after, it's just basically a double check, or if you want multiple things to be true before you can run it, this is a way to do it. So that's all. I'm going to be leaving the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If this helped you learn anything, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment on anything. If you are confused, I will explain it as much as I can. Feel free to check out my other tutorials. I'm planning to make a tutorial every day from now on, if possible, with good quality. So stay tuned in for those. If you're interested in helping out the channel and New Era Studios grow, feel free to subscribe and join us on Roblox and New Era Studios. I hope to see you guys there, and I hope to see you guys in my other videos. Have a good day.